What's going on? It's finally here. What is this? This is the week where we officially make the transition from golf to football. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. I know you guys are still going to be playing Showdown for NFL, but like this is time to get into golf. It's the People's Championship, the Waste Management out in Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale. It's all the same. It's a metro, okay? Great tournament to watch, great tournament to play DFS, great tournament to keep up with. Pumped to have you here. Already see plenty of people in the chat. Make sure that we're getting in here. We're almost at 10,000 people, so go ahead and drop a like and also subscribe because we're going to be to 10,000 by the end of this month. We need you, and honestly, I'm tired of asking for 10,000 people. So get in here, get a little weird, and join the chat. If you're good in the chat, we might do an extra drawing. Let's see if I can make it through this show. The big guy's got a lot going on, but most importantly, I'm here to inform you about what you need to know for the waste management. We're going to try to keep it about 20-25 minutes because I ain't got all night and I ain't feeling great, so we're going to get you what you need and get you prepared. So I'm going to shut the fuck up and I'm going to get going. Look at that. Already dropping an F-bomb. $10 in there if we have a good chat. All right, here we go. Moving on, new guy, what's going on? Glad to see you here. Glad to see you back for year 3 with me of PGA DFS. And, well, I got a very simple question for you, new guy who's been playing football for way too long and should have already been up in the golf streets. Here it is. Have you made your lineups yet? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to talk a little bit about lineups today. I'm going to, I try to give strategy that is a little bit different than what other people in the industry are doing. Mine's not going to be, oh, my model likes this guy, you should play him, he's good from 200 yards out. There's plenty of people doing that. I'm not going to do that. We're going to start with contest selection here, right? And I'm going to just start out by telling you this. All of the contests are still open except the big $5, and they've already put a secondary. The Drive the Green is already out, and the secondary is pretty good too. So really all the contests in theory are open. The main $5 full, no surprise. DraftKings under-repping how popular that $5 contest is. But the big $25 actually isn't that poorly structured this week, right? Only 20% to first, second's half of first, which is shocking. And then 10th place is 133rd. Not great, but better than what we normally get from these fuckers, right? So there's plenty of good contests. If you're a higher level player, the 888, the 200, the 4 max 250 are all out there. The 111 10 max, the 150 3 max, and then if you're a little bit lower, you still got your $3 20 max, your $1 20 max. There's all kinds of contests. And so instead of going over all these contests, here's what I'm going to have you do. I want you to do something different tonight because most of these contests are not going to fill. You have probably a few hours before they fill, and this is what I want you to consider. I want you to build your player pool tonight. Okay, before you pick your contests. So often you guys pick your contest first and then go build your player pool. You can do it quite the contrary. Let your player pool dictate what contest you're going to play in, right? The biggest question is going to be, how many people are in your player pool? Go start building it. Go start putting stars by all the guys you like, okay? Maybe you want to wait till this show's over to do it. That's fine. You'll still have time. Do it during the show. But what I want you to do is I want you to start collecting how many guys that you are going to like and you are going to want in your player pool tonight. If you build your player pool and you find, man, I don't like anybody this week. I like 4 or 5 guys. Well, then maybe 5 guys, you should go have a burger, right? That's what you should do if you like 5 guys. But if you find you only like 4 or 5 guys, maybe this is a single entry week for you. Maybe you put all your funds into a $200 single entry lineup, right? Maybe you go play a $100 single entry. Whatever your bankroll for the week is, let the number of players in your player pool dictate how many you play. Maybe you build your player pool and you have 8 to 10 players, right? You're like, oh, I really like these 8 to 10 guys, maybe a couple of these other guys out here on the periphery. Well, in that case, I think you should be looking to maybe build like 5 to 10 lineups, right? Maybe you go get in this $111 10 max, or maybe you go, get that up to 13 or 14 people, and you go play in a $3 20 max, right? So you can stay within your budget, but you are letting the number of players in your player pool dictate how many lineups you're going to play this week. If you go build and you're just a slut this week, and let's say you like everybody, right? Let's say you like 25 to 28 guys this week. A lot of guys, because at this course, there is a lot of guys. This is a course that almost anybody can compete at. If all 4 parts of your game are playing, you can compete. So here's what I'd say. If you end up building a player pool of over 25 guys, well, then maybe you go get in one of these, the 50-cent mini-max. Maybe you go get, you go max the $5 or something like that, right? Because you could probably build 150 lineups pretty easy once you get over 25 guys in your player pool. So the point being is don't go pick your contest. Go pick your player pool. Look at the number of players in your player pool and let that dictate what kind of contest you're going to play in this week, right? That's a pro little tip right there, that you let the number of guys. So you're not like, oh, I really wish I would have played him this week, but I had to cut him because he didn't fit the number of guys in my player pool. Well, screw that. Make the number of guys in your player pool bigger and go play in different contests. Try some different contests out this week, but still make sure they're well structured, right? So that is tip number 1 this week. Don't let the number of guys in your player pool dictate, or let them dictate what you're going to play this week, and don't let the contests themselves dictate what you're going to play. Okay, maybe you're a guy who just plays in the big contest every week. You throw your 10 lineups in there. Well, maybe this is a week to get off of that. Instead of putting your $250 in that, maybe you go put it into a couple single entries. You go do a $200 single entry, a $100 single entry, and you do it with just the 7 or 8 guys that you like. You find you only like 7 or 8 guys, well then screw throwing 10 lineups in this bad boy and go play in the $100 and $200 single entry. They have much better structures. They're much better laid out, and you're going to get exposure to the guys that you like, and you're not just simply playing guys to play guys. Okay, that is contest selection this week. I went level 2 on you there, right? Okay, I hope you kept up with all that, but it's new in the season. Got a lot of fresh faces. Already 350 people in here. Only 170 likes. Would like to see those likes get up, you mother fathers. Let's go ahead and just drop that for the mother fathers. Give me some likes in there, and remember, this is we're knocking off the cobwebs. We're trying to be as efficient as possible with our money, because PGA DFS should be sustainable. You do it right long enough, you're gonna hit a big one, I promise. All right, new guys, second question. Here we go. What's the first thing we always check at PGA DFS? That's right. We're checking weather, and they are here in Phoenix, and shocking that it's beautiful in Phoenix. Just fucking shocking that they're having nice weather there. They're playing at TPC Scottsdale, one of the coolest courses out there. It's kind of it's a sister course almost to TPC Sawgrass down in Jacksonville. Cool course, a lot of great holes on it. Of course, it has the stadium hole on 16. From 13 on, I really enjoy the course. You got the 13 and 15 are the par 5, 17 is the drivable par 4. It's a pretty cool little course coming home. I enjoy it. Walked it last year. Was there last year with the team. Don't forget, 1 year I've been with Ship It. We took our team meeting and went there. It was quite awesome last year. Been a rough year since then, but that's all right. We go looking for the good, you motherfathers. So, anyways, what do we need to know about the weather? Well, first of all, I think that people just see this beautiful weather and they think there's not much here. But I think a lot of people last week, did you even realize there was a 1.5 edge on the Pebble Beach last week? You didn't, right? We got so caught up in the Pebble Beach last week that we didn't even realize that if you listened to what I said last week about getting up and checking the weather Thursday morning, there was a 1.5 weather edge, and you wanted to play it. And I think this week there might be a little bit of a weather edge too, right? You look here, H RAR is saying that, I think that those guys going out Thursday morning have a nice little go, right? It's going to get over 60 by 10 o'clock, which 60 is kind of that magical temperature we want to see. And then it looks like in the afternoon there's going to be a little bit of sustained breeze. So I think that the AM PM guys, especially if you're a tea time truther, I think that some Thursday morning guys, right? I think you're going to want them, especially the ones that are going off the latest local time. Which are going to be, the morning guys, right? So it's going to be these groups right here, the mountain time, 9-10 a.m. and earlier, right? So Ventura's group, Lanto's group, Ramey's group, Norlander's group, Todd's group, EVR. Those are the groups that are going to be going off 1 and 10, right? And there could be a little wave edge there, right? I think at Showdown, you definitely want to get the guys going out late morning tomorrow. If you're a round 1 Showdown person, it just looks like they're going to have the better of it. The course could dry out just a little bit in the afternoon, and there could be some gusts. So I expect the morning to shoot a little bit better. But those guys going out in the very, very early morning when it's 53 degrees, I don't know that I love them. So that's why I'm looking specifically at tee times. I think those late morning AM guys could have a little bit of an edge. If you're just looking here, if H RAR, of course, I'll be up in the morning checking the weather. We'll be sharing it with all our members over at Ship It because, getting the latest up-to-date weather from real weather forecasts and not fucking wind finder, you fucking pores, it makes a difference, right? And so we'll be looking at that, and if I see that weather edge, I'm gonna try to play it because a 1.5 can be nice, especially if you can get your guys off to a head start. Looking over at Friday, you can see once again we're going to want to get those newest ones, but it's just not going to get as warm Friday. It's going to take a little bit longer to warm up, and it doesn't appear as though there's going to be as many winds Friday afternoon. So just going off of that, if I can get a little bit of a breeze Thursday afternoon and none on Friday, and it's going to take a little bit longer to warm up and it's going to dry out less, I would imagine that AM PM might have a little bit of an edge tomorrow. This isn't something I'm going all in on, especially until I get my big ass up in the morning and check the weather and confirm it and see, because these weather updates, they're changing every couple hours. And we want to see that they're staying consistent and we're not going off something that's from 12 hours before. So, if you want to be a real tryhard when it comes to weather, you need to be up in the morning checking this. Overall, I don't think you're looking at a big weather edge. Even last week with a 1.5 shot difference at Pebble Beach, it was more about just getting off of some guys. Like, it really got me off of some of the slapdicks last week at Pebble Beach. But the studs still did just fine, even with that 1.5 shot difference. So this isn't one of those things that I think you should be avoiding all the PM/AM guys. Matter of fact, I think that would probably be pretty stupid because there's quite a few good PM/AM guys out there, and I don't think you're going to want to have all those guys faded from your pool. But it could be one of those things that could get you off of the right scrubs, and that's what it did last week for me. I was like, I'm not playing that scrub whenever I am seeing probably a shot difference between this wave and that wave. So there you go. That's my breakdown of the weather. We'll be checking again in the morning over at Ship-It. Of course, be in the Discord where we share all of our information. We keep all of our members up to date, give you the best quality we can, quality information, all right? And then don't be afraid to look at these tee times. Remember, the late morning guys I think are going to have it the best, the late morning guys. And make sure you're looking at those times and not looking at the Eastern time. Make sure you're looking at your local time. This is in the Mountain Time Zone because Arizona's weird and they move time zones during the year. A lot of people don't know that. You're welcome. You're welcome for the knowledge. All right, let's get to the second most important thing. If it's not weather, it is certainly ownership. And when we get to ownership, we have the question of the century. Scotty Scheffler, what the hell do we do with this guy? Yes, you are seeing that right on my screen. We are projecting him over at Ship It Nation. We are projecting him to come in at over 40%. He is right there on that $12,000 number, and it's just not enough, especially whenever you factor in how, we have him over 80% to score a top 20, right? When you can put that kind of consistency into your lineup, it's really, really hard to not just take that, right? So 43%, what do you do with Scotty Scheffler? Well, I don't want to spoil it because we're going to come back to Scotty. I'm going to circle back to him in a little bit. But in the meantime, we need to determine when somebody's 43% owned chalk, what are we calling these guys? Well, I think we have no choice. Scotty Scheffler, you, sir, are the definition of...
The man's donkey chalk, and we don't play donkey chalk.
Look, he scares the shit out of me too, but that doesn't change the fact the man is donkey chalk, which then puts all these other guys in a really weird conundrum. All these other dudes that are also four figures are now basically getting mathematically eliminated because it gets very hard to get Scheffler and another 10K guy into your lineup. So these guys are going to see a drop in their ownership, and I think because of that, most of these guys are going to probably fall in the same bucket. I think they're all going to fall in the, you're a little high for my ownership, but I think you can play these guys, especially if you don't pair them with Scotty, and you are building a lineup that looks very, very different than everybody else's lineup. Okay, so Thomas, Burns, Matsuyama, once again, a lot of those guys are going to be obvious dudes that if you don't play Scotty, almost everybody will play one of those three guys to fill that in. So you already know what people's lineups are going to look like. They're going to play Scotty, and if they don't, they will almost assuredly start their lineup with Thomas, Burns, or Matsuyama. So if you want to get really, really, really weird this week, you could just start with no 10K guys, and you're going to have a lineup that is so much different than everybody else. You will be building a lineup so much differently than the rest of the field is, okay? Now, is that a good thing? Well, I'll tell you this. You're giving up a shit ton of win equity when you are giving up those top four, so be aware of that whenever you are fading Decky, Burns, Thomas, and Scheffler. A lot of win equity right there, right? And you know as well as I do, to win these GPPs, you almost always have to have the winner in your lineup. So make sure to account for that when you're building your lineups tonight, okay? From there, I think old Tom Kim. I think Tom Kim, baby, is going to get, you see that 14%. But I can just feel it in my loins, boy. I should save this for what's it called? For Steam, but I just can't help myself. Tom Kim's going to get some ownership, and he's going to...
The man's donkey chalk, and we don't play donkey chalk.
People love Tom Kim. He played well last week. He has a well-rounded game. This course is well designed for him. I just have a feeling he's going to be donkey chalk, right? But then at the same time, I think Sung Jae, crazy enough, I actually think he's going to moonwalk backwards a little bit, and I think he's going to be... Okay. I think he's just going to be okay, Jock. I know that they look the same, but I think that Kim's ownership is going to be quite a bit higher than we expect, and I think that Sung Jae is going to be a little bit lower than we expect. So I think you're going to get a discount on Sung Jae, and I think he's actually going to just be like low, low double digits, which is pretty good for 9,800, right? He could be a nice little pivot up there that you make. Billy Ho, love me some Billy Ho. Billy Ho is actually, here's the problem. Billy Ho is a guy that I was like, that's the guy I want, because with Billy Ho, he is a form player, right? He is a guy that I have in my notes over here, which I'll probably bring up in a little bit, the DJ's notes. He's just a guy that plays well. But at 7,600, when you're in the 7,600s and you are double digits, you, sir, are the definition of
The man's donkey chalk, and we don't play donkey chalk.
Except when we do. We don't play donkey chalk except when we do. And then I think, same thing here with Tigala. I think that he's kind of just right there in the middle. I think we're going to give him chalk, right? I think that this course, if he can keep from really spraying it off the tee, I think he's a really good play, especially if you're going to get him at 10%. People are on Nick Taylor. I'm sorry, Nick Taylor. You, sir, in the 800s, or in the 8,000s, excuse me, you are the definition of
The man's donkey chalk, and we don't play donkey chalk.
I know, but hey, he's going to get up to like 15%. Watch. People love a Nick Taylor. Siwoo Kim, I can feel it in my loins. I know that only says 11%, but I got to be consistent. I can feel it. He's going to.
The man's donkey chalk, and we don't play donkey chalk.
And then what do we know? What is the rule we know? When people start getting into those high single digits or low double digits and you're in the 7,000s, and look, Hoffman and Woodland have been two of my favorite sleepers. Hell, I think I've made them sleepers the last 2 weeks, and they've done very well for us. I love them, and you can still play them, but that doesn't change the fact these two guys are the definition of
The man's donkey chalk, and we don't play donkey chalk.
Donkey chalk. And there you go. There's a lot of donkey chalk in the 7Ks and 8Ks this week, and it's really because of just what Scotty Scheffler's doing up top. The man's crazy. I've never really seen one player individually change an entire slate when it comes to ownership, right? So it's going to make for some really interesting lineup building. All right, let's get to Steam and Moonwalk. If I'm projecting these ownerships, some people are going to see this, and they're going to change who they're playing. And when they do that, they're going to steam up their ownership. First up, we have Tom Kim. I already told you, I think Tom Kim is a guy that is right there, can be a second guy in a lineup. I think he is going to get some popularity because you can fit him in with Scotty. He's playing well, and this course is a good fit. So, Tom Kim, you are getting steamed up tonight. Can feel it in me loins, boy. Can feel it in me loins. Next up, Kurt Kitayama. People just can't let this guy go. He played so well in the swing season. Though that hasn't carried over so far to the early season here on the PGA, I still think that he's just that right price to be the second guy in. Kurt Kitayama, you are going to be steamed up tonight. Can feel it. And lastly, JJ Spawn. People, JJ Spawn, he's that magic best by pricing of 7,900. I think that he is going to be that third guy in a lot of lineups. JJ Spawn, can feel it. He is going to get steamed up tonight. Those are the guys that are going to get steamed up. But if somebody's steaming up, that means somebody's got to be moonwalking. And I've already told you, it's largely going to be those other people competing with Scotty Scheffler for lineups. Scotty Scheffler is going to be the guy that most people are going to play as the number one guy in their lineup. But when you do that, it really starts to fade out a guy like Justin Thomas. So Justin Thomas at 10,500, unless there's some big moonwalking happening on Scheffler tonight, you, sir, are going to moonwalk backwards on ownership. You might be able to get him at like 12 or 13%, depending on how crazy it gets with our boy Scotty Scheffler. Next up, Hideki Matsuyama. First of all, he's playing 5 straight weeks. I think we got to worry about old Decky falling over and dying tonight or tomorrow, right? He's like, I've never played 5 weeks in a row. So that with that price tag, there's no way he's going to be paired with Scotty. So because of that, he is going to. And lastly, simply just Minwoo Lee is just another one of those guys who is right there in that he's just too many guys around him who are popular. I think they are going to gain steam. If they're gaining steam, well, that makes it simple. He is going to moonwalk backwards. So there you go. That gives you an idea of some guys I think are going to moonwalk backwards and some guys that are going to go forward. All right, getting over here. If you don't know about the 1 year I've been in Shipping Nation, well, it's been a fucking home run. And we've built this thing called DJ's Notes and DJ's Scorecard. And I just want to show you, I was scrolling through today trying to find my sleeper, who I wanted to play. And I go look at my notes. I like to refresh my notes. People in the Discord like to look at this, like to refresh their notes and get an idea. Because, I've been playing PGA DFS so long, I probably know more about a lot of these guys than you do. There might be some guys you know more than I know, but I know a lot about these guys because I've been keeping up with this shit for a long time. And I know for a fact, I know some people that are out on the course, and they've been telling me Matt Wallace has been out there since like Monday just grinding his balls off. And the nice thing about Matt Wallace is he's a guy that, like, when he's in contention, he will play, right? Plays well when he's in contention. He's the ultimate all-or-nothing guy, right? He might be 6 over tomorrow, but he might be out in the lead. And these are the kind of guys I like. He's great in wind. He is a below-average player on short courses. Well, this is a longer course. He excels at par 72s. And we haven't seen much of Matt Wallace. So Matt Wallace is the kind of guy that, like, when I use DGen's notes over at Ship It Nation and other people do, these are the kind of guys you can find. Matt Wallace is a guy that's right there, will definitely be in my player pool this week. Hell, I might even make him my sleeper. I was going to go with Matt Kuchar, but if you haven't heard, old Matty Cooch has definitely withdrawn. I just wanted to show you this. I have these notes for all 200 players. We're adding another 45 here in the next week. So be checking that out. Very proud of this. It's a very cool little tool that you will be wanting to use. All right, let's get to the tip of the week. It's called To Scotty or Not to Scotty. Everybody's going to spend their time tonight deciding, should I play Scotty Scheffler, should I not? And if I do, how much should I play? And I'm going to come at you a lot like I did with contest selection and tell you it's the opposite. What you need to do is you need to go build your player pool and forget about Scotty Scheffler. Go build your player pool and then look at it and say, does Scotty Scheffler fit into this player pool? Do you want to have a lot of Justin Thomas? Do you want to have a lot of Hideki Matsuyama? Do you want to have a lot of Sam Burns? Do you like a lot of the guys in the upper 8Ks and 9Ks? Because if you do, the answer is it might be a week to fade Scotty, right? Let your player pool dictate if you should play Scotty. Don't let Scotty dictate your player pool. I know that's counterintuitive, but do this. If you're building your player pool and you find, I don't really like many of these 9K guys, and you find most of your player pool landing in the 8Ks and the 7Ks, and you like a lot of sleepers in the 6Ks, well, then it should probably be a Scotty week because he is going to top off those lineups perfectly. He is going to fill them in like you need them to be. He's going to spend most of your salary. But if you build your player pool and you find yourself, damn, I like this guy, and you find yourself finding 7 or 8 guys you like above 9K, well, then it's probably a week just to fade Scotty, and then you can go be overexposed to Thomas, to Decky, to Burns, to Mav McNeely, to all these guys that are up there, and fuck Scotty. Okay, Scotty's win equity is not as high as all those guys combined. So go build your player pool and then decide about Scotty. Don't decide Scotty and then build your player pool. Okay? Do it opposite, just like you're doing your contest selection. Don't let Scotty dictate your week. Let your player pool dictate your week, and then let that dictate, should I play Scotty or should I not? How much Scotty should I play? There you go. You're going to build a player pool first. That's going to determine should you play Scotty, and it's going to determine what kind of contest you should be in. Do it opposite this week. Try it, and don't let the contest and Scotty being so dominant determine everything for you. Flip the thinking. Think with those first, and then come back to Scotty, and then come back to your contest, all right? Try it out. It's a new year. Try out a new strategy and see how it works for you, okay? That is To Scotty or Not to Scotty, and the answer is build your player pool first, okay? Let's get over to, I guess, the model. We don't really build models. These model sites suck. I'm sick and tired of them. I'm tired of pretending like they're any good. As I've told you, start with these guys: Thomas, Decky, Burns, M, Connor, Kim, Tigala, Straka. If you want to have access to a lot of these guys and you want to be overweight on them, well, then build your player pool around them and don't build it around Scotty. Okay. From there's going to be a lot of guys like Rasmus Højgaard. No one's playing. Bobby Mack, Gracerman. Spieth, which I'm still convinced is broke. Gracerman, yes, he did have that withdrawal. I'm not too worried about him, but I am worried about Spieth. No one's playing Clanton or Batia. You can get a nice discount on Cam Young Poston. Siwoo will be popular. People have given up on Davis Thompson, which I get he's not playing well, but that's crazy. Matthew Fitzpatrick, I gave up on a long time ago. Harry Hall at 7,700 seems like a good deal. I've already told you, Billy Ho, Sam Stevens is playing great. Eckroth, this is a really good range. This mid-7 range is basically the same as the mid-8 range. A lot of people on Daniel Berger. People on Cheesesteak Hooger, too. Lucas Glover is a form player. He's getting into form. Might want to watch him. I still think Max Homa is broken. I'm going to, a lot like Spieth, I'm going to wait for him to be unbroken. From there, I basically... there's not a lot of guys that I was kind of struggling to find my sleeper, and then I got over here and I started looking at the DGen's notes, and then I looked at the DGen scorecard, which has all the grades for everybody, and then I started looking at the notes, and I was like, let's see who's a good sleeper. And as I was looking through, I was like, Thomas Dietrich. Let's go check out old Thomas Dietrich from the notes. Reliable on long courses, excels in strong fields, which this is. Good at round 2, struggles on TPC courses, but not as bad on this one. Very good putter, good at week long. I was like, okay, Andy 7,200, my sleeper of the week. There you go. It's going to be old Thomas Dietrich. We're going Thomas Dietrich as the sleeper of the week. The one guy I'm not playing rips my soul out. I love him. I think he's a great player. He did me well as a as one just a couple weeks ago, but I gotta be consistent. The one guy I'm not playing, I love you, Charlie Hoffman, but I'm not gonna go chasing the last year's success. Charlie Hoffman's the one guy I'm not playing, which brings me to who is the one guy I am playing. And yes, he is chalk, but sometimes when you like a guy and you want to play him and you see good results coming, you just got to eat the chalk and you got to play him. Let's go check out the video and see who is the one guy I'm playing this week. Oh shit, it's the Patriot. We need some American. Oh, a lot of good Americans going down. Sit down, Tagala. Sit down. Oh, we're trying to save Scotty? Pussy. Tied up. This is the Patriot, by the way. Some of you need to watch the movies. There's me just lighting people up. Get out of here, you stupid redcoats. This is an American party. Look at that face. You know I'm serious. Oh, yeah, get out of here, redcoats. Uh-oh. Our mystery man, he's got the axes. Oh, he's going to get the British guys. Corey Connor's Canadian. Close enough. Close enough. Uh-oh, Matthew Fitzpatrick. He's always a bad guy. Jake Knapp. Go take a nap, Jake. Is that Lee Hodges? Not good. Uh-oh. Fitzpatrick and his long nap. Oh, that didn't feel good. Never want a hatchet to the head. Never a hatchet to the... Oh, Harry Hall, you can't run from the Patriot. All right, so the Patriot saves Scotty Scheffler. Who is this madman? Who is the one guy we're playing this week? The one guy we're playing this week? We're playing Billy Ho, the one guy. Look, Billy Ho starts to get into Billy Ho mode, and things start to get good. I think Billy Ho is going to kick some ass this week. I think that Billy Ho is the dude. Yes, he has some terrible chalk, but I am playing him. I don't give a shit. Billy Ho is the one guy we're playing this week over at Ship It Nation. Come check out all these incredible hits, all the Ship It signs everywhere. It has been quite the start of the year at PGA DFS. We're only going to grow. We have the best package out there. We are making it where you have all the best tools. The stone, which we have the scorecard, the DGens notes, the Rosetta Stone, all my projections, all of my weather, everything you need that we keep up with. Of course, the Discord, and you can do it with Ship50, the best code out there. Get you the entire year, and you can come be part of all the success we're having. It has been quite fun spreading this image everywhere. We are having a blast. Come join it. It is now or never. It is officially golf season. Get in there before that code expires. And once again, it is Ship50. It will get you $50 off the entire year. It will run all the way through to December. Get in there, all right? For all of you that have been liking and retweeting, here's a $100 lineup to do it with me. Editor, you tell me if we need to do one from the chat. I thought if we got 500, we should do it. If not, we shouldn't. The winner of is Greg Shamil. Reach out to me. All right, guys, I think that's it. It has been a good show. I made it 30 minutes. I can't believe I made it. I appreciate all of you being here. Guys, remember, rule number one, these weeks are awesome. Golf is here. We have a full field. We have a cut. We have everything we want. We get to listen to content. We get to make our lineups. We get to think through our lineups, our player pool. We get to sweat our lineups. We get to tilt our lineups. And in the end, we get to enjoy it, whether we win or lose. Never take this stuff for granted. Enjoy it and be thankful we have it. I appreciate all of you being here. Make sure to hit the like and the sub. I'll see you next time. This is awesome. Appreciate every single one of you. Put those hands up. I'm so high.